change the mindset of especially the younger generation. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I can really feel you a teacher because all your points are very touching. Number one, during my campaign trail via social media, smart campaign, I emphasized qualifications of a member of parliament. Ladies and gentlemen, many of the people didn't take it serious, but I was actually also enlightening about the sanctity and the value of parliament in the decision making and in relation to your suffering, everyone today. I want to make it very clear. People are educated, but they have not learned. Can you imagine you find a member of parliament, whether he's a doctor, whether he's a professional in any capacity, and he surely doesn't know the works of parliament? I want to remind you, ladies and gentlemen.
In other words, you're saying people are certified, but they're not learned. Is that what you're saying?
Yes. The education system and even the very Ugandans, they study, but they don't learn. They can even pass. Can you imagine in Uganda, people pay for other people to do for them coursework and exams. And even they send other people for as little as professions like driving. Someone goes and drives for you in order to procure a driving permit. At the end, you cause accidents to yourselves and the people around you, and you blame Mr. Museveni, you blame government. So Ugandans don't know that the knowledge you acquire is for you to learn how to perform certain tasks. Many people love passing, but they have not learned. I have been teaching about nutrition as low as this started in primary 3, but many people don't know they are not supposed to eat excess carbohydrates for weight gain, the dangers of weight gain, accumulative fats via intake of milk, constant milk intake, and others attacked me. You can see the level of ignorance of people even you call educated. Therefore, I am here reminding fellow Ugandans that whatever that is affecting them is from parliament. And I sing for them a song, Akaliro Mukawulira. Akaliro Mukawulira. I used to warn you. Anything that is affecting you in this government, in this country, is as a result of the member of parliament who doesn't know, who doesn't qualify for the job. Everything that happens in this country must be a law, must be within the limits of the law, done by parliament. Either it's an amendment of the existing laws or new laws and policies. Now, we are saying making laws and enacting laws or amending laws, you cannot do it unless you are a lawyer. You can't do anything. We've been saying. So, if you did not elect a lawyer among your docket, among those ones who competed, you chose and elected the wrong person. He is not going to help you. He's not going to do anything, and you are part of the suffering of yourself. You chose the wrong person. They are all struggling. Right now, we are having what we call a protection of sovereignty bill. Can you imagine all the people crawling and hiding in trenches, hibernating? All those ones that you voted and were not lawyers, they are only opening their ears and eyes, but they cannot talk. Because the entire language used here is logic, is law. Now, whatever that is happening as an amendment must be done by lawyers. Because the cardinal objective of a member of parliament is to pass and amend laws. If you are not a lawyer, there is nothing you can amend. No wonder the likes of Honorable Naboses, they went and studied law, realizing that, hey, you have to have legal knowledge to be an MP. That's why now she can understand everything you're talking about, other than talking like a social worker in parliament. There are people who can talk to excite others, but in reality, there is no impact. Therefore, I want to remind you next time, dear voters, to elect a member of parliament, you must, one, elect someone who is a lawyer and has legal knowledge. Number 2, make sure you elect someone who is not poor. Some of you vote people who are like you. You say, oh, this one is in the same docket like us. He gets a wheelbarrow, sits on it, roams around the mud, and you say this is our man. And imagine, others vote based on ethnicity. Ah, this is a Mugisu. We give our fellow Mugisu. This is a Muganda. We give our fellow Muganda. Hey, someone is not qualified and you are electing such a person. Then too, others vote based on religion. Nonsense. We are giving a fellow Catholic. But you know that person is as empty as a tin. You have left credible people. But because you're a Catholic, because you're a Muslim, and you are voting a fellow useless person. Sorry to use that language. But to be honest, many of you are part of the problem in Uganda. Lastly, vote someone who has a permanent place of abode. Where does he stay? A permanent place of his home, and it must be in his name. Reason being, the exorbitant payments of house allowances these MPs allocate to themselves is selfishness. We are paying to MPs the money we collect. A lot of money goes to MPs, ministers, and public servants. So we are saying, to be in any office, you must be credible. You must be having where you stay. No more house allowances. You must come with a health insurance service card. Government should not spend on you. The government spends a lot of money on MPs, ministers, and public servants. I'm telling you, you should save all this money. Then 3, no more travels, unnecessary travels. The benchmark, someone should have been already in those countries and knows what he's talking about to reduce on the benchmarking. There's a lot of money per DM, blah, 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 that nonsense. There's a lot of money that is spent on government procurements like cars, iPads, and many others. The grant of cars. You should come with your own car. And these were my reforms, but you didn't vote for me. And I would sit in the parliament to bring these reforms, because these reforms must be what we call, if they are not from government, they are called private member bills. You write via the legal language and drafting to the Ministry of Finance and Planning and the Planning Authority. And you attain or you exhibit how does this bill save Uganda money and instead adds value to Uganda. Then you acquire what we call a certificate of no objection, certificate of financial implication. Then once you get this certificate, now such a bill can be put on the order paper of parliament to have others debate about it and then be passed as a law. So the assurance I'm giving you, many of the people you voted don't know even how to draft a bill via Ministry of Finance and Planning. So they simply chat and yarn and sing slogans around. When they go to parliament, they sleep. They are jokers. They don't know what should be done. Others wait in corridors to jump on what is controversial so that you can see them. Others pay to media to cover them to show they are working. I'm telling you the truth. So basically, 90% of the parliament is useless and is not knowledgeable about surely supporting what benefits Ugandans. That's why among my reforms, there are so many MPs. All these constituencies need to be fused. We need only 80 MPs, ladies and gentlemen, who are cream and can save this country. I'm telling you, ministers are too many. We even don't know all of these ministers. We don't even know how their credentials, how they are elected. How do you tell me there is a minister for ICT and is a medical doctor? No wonder Facebook is off. He cannot advise the cabinet or the president that Facebook, people earn from it, and social media can be used positively to disseminate government information and programs. You cannot support government because you know less about social media applications. And even Uganda should stop being gullible. If me, I am elected minister, in a portfolio I have no knowledge about, I refuse, I reject. But how can they elect you when you're a medical person and we lack medical doctors? The patient-doctor ratio is so high. And you go and we lose such a professional. You understand? I don't know whether Ugandans really think the same way like others. So we are saying the suffering Ugandans have is as a result of you voters being unserious. Therefore, ladies and gentlemen, everything that is making you suffer in this country, I remind you, you are part of it. You elected wrong leaders. You elected noob leaders by protest. You elected NRM leaders by protest. Some of them didn't qualify, much as you loved them. Next time, we are sensitizing you. Vote leaders that you need, not leaders that you love. Love is blind. Love is based on emotions. People that you need are of value to you, whether you like them or not. But because they do good to you, at the end you will end up loving them. I encourage you fellow Ugandans to wake up that when we are having serious leaders, we are going to have laws passed swiftly and quickly. Lastly on that, we brought a number of reforms. If people really read my manifesto, it is on the internet, on my website, you can download. We talked about the judiciary and many other sectors. Should I say Ugandans don't feel this? And they did vote for me. Instead, they were insulting me. They were abusing me. And I was reminding them, look, guys, Chiamba Mwe, to vote serious leaders. Me, I shall be here laughing at you. I am not agitating for myself. I am now a Rotarian. Rotarians serve beyond self. A leader must be a Rotarian. They had to save and help others. And any leader, especially if it's from the Rotary, does not get corrupt. Because all people from the Rotary, they are satisfied and they spread the gospel of love and serving beyond oneself and selfishness. Therefore, as long as you are not having such sentiments within you, the renaissance within you, the redemption within you, Ugandans, to use and choose what is right, there is less that can really change in this country. So, my dear teacher, I want to tell you about the internships you talked about. One, the government has no money to implement a lot of these programs because even the little money that is available is stolen, swindled by your fellow fathers, relatives. I want you to understand the people who are crippling this country. They are not from Sudan. They are not from Congo. These are your relatives. You even know them. If I tell you to mention one by one here, they are your relatives. Stop blaming others and the ghost. My brothers, Ugandans, you are all cheating your own government at all desks. People who are in government, people in private sector. So we were saying, can we collect enough money so that we enable government to at least implement some of these programs? Can we stop the swindling of government money? You have had several controversies within ministerial posts, permanent secretaries, civil servants swindling government money, and nothing has been done. That's why we are calling upon Mr. Muhoozi, if it means to retire from the army and join the public. A lot of public people have a lot of hope in him. We are here to support him. And if he's delaying others who are able, we are saying we are here. As he will join us or we join him. Ugandans, wake up and join the crusade to at least support what is in existence, and we demand for better. Lastly, during COVID, as you say, during COVID, in the whole world, I have never seen Ugandans. I don't want to use the word government. Government is you, is me. Nobody in Uganda who doesn't have someone serving in government. Government is people. Can you imagine? They closed us for years. People's properties got expired in those shops. By compulsory, government locked out Ugandans not to go at work. Can you imagine the rent building owners came out demanding for all that money that people were at home? And government didn't do anything. Serious Ugandans in offices didn't do anything to at least console our population from the damage. A lot of people lost a lot of money. Up now, they have not recovered. Others became mad. They are mentally sick. Others went back to the villages. Up now, they have never recovered. And yet government should have what we call preparedness. We have even a full ministry for disasters like that. And a law would pass a decree by the president that nobody will be charged for that time. All of us, let's be on square one. It was just a word. But I don't know the advisors of Mr. Museveni. They didn't tell him that, look, the entire country will hold.
Time. There's a gentleman that wants to join the discussion. Is called Mr. Kennedy. Mr. Kennedy, join the discussion, please. Sorry, Mr. Luzzi.
No, it's fine.
Thank you very much. And Mr. Luzzi, always high respect for you. And I have this to mention here. Number one, you touched many areas, and this is in complement to what you said. You for example, when we talk about the vast numbers of the parliamentarians, if you look at the history of African countries and the weaknesses they are in, it is a subject of representation. When some areas of the country feel that they are disenfranchised, they become sources of conflict in some countries. And that's why President Museveni and NRM chose to have all the areas of Uganda represented in the center, to feel that they are part of the story of governance. It is costly monetarily, but it is a security component. The security of Uganda is not a subject of guns alone. Even that aspect is important. Now, when we talk about the voter and the members of parliament, for example, we always question what came first, the egg or the chicken. You have the voter who has no clue what he voted for or what he's asking, because ultimately a voter must task you, the member of parliament, with his agenda. He wants a certain idea on education, a certain idea on healthcare, on roads, and all the details of the country. Now, in the absence of that, you find that if the voter did not ask you, to represent certain ideals, some of these members of parliament don't find a reason to do the mandate of the people. They just do whatever they choose to do. That's number one. When you talk about corruption, for example, you go looking for votes and they ask for money. So you end up selling the house, selling your land, giving them money. When you go to the parliament, now you have to reap, okay, to get a refund for what you spent. You see, now, ideally, I listened to a young man who is an engineer, and he needed guidance. And that also brings another element to our story, that the purpose of education is to aid you in thinking. Now, if you have an educated elite that they are stuck, they're educated, but they are short of thinking. They can't look at their territory, because what is it about investment? You look around your area, you find what is missing in your area, and you're like, look, I'm going to fill in the gap. And right there, you have become an entrepreneur, an investor, or whatever you call yourself. But that is aided with your education. But the notion that you can get educated and get to a point and say, you know what, I'm educated, but I'm stuck. Then that also begs the question, okay? Is the education the problem, or you're the problem? Is the country the problem, or you're the problem? You know, that we need to navigate.
Our question to you, Mr. Kennedy, is...
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Given what Mr. Luzzi has, because this is where the conversation started from, part of the proposals that he had put forward, even during the campaign, we are very glad that the government has adopted some of these proposals, and even more to come. Okay?
Correct.
So the discussion here is, should government really not focus so much on the parliament, but focus on where the masses' ears are, and try to listen to what the masses are saying in terms of steering the country forward? Yes, President Museveni and Mr. Luzzi has said he has done so well, and we should build on what he has put up. But the conversation then again has to change, because when you say total representation at a very huge budget, and some of these budgets, we don't get value for money, and this has been it's a repeated pattern. Over and over again, we're having MPs being bought, given money for cars, for where they live. Where were they living before they came to parliament? And this is what Mr. Luzzi has said. Why should we, even as electoral commission, endorse someone who hasn't got a permanent address to represent people?
No, I think ideally, Mr. Luzzi's argument is a progressive argument, and it is welcome. It has come at the proper time. that, and this is the subject of Uganda. For example, Mr. Luzzi is a product of President Museveni's history. If Luzzi had not come on the stage, nobody knew who Luzzi was, for example. He was minding his life, enjoying life on earth here, doing his thing with his tall Sarah, and nobody knew who Luzzi was. Ideally, he was within Uganda, but time arrived when he stepped on the stage. And here we are talking about Luzzi and his progressive agenda. And this is exactly what the country requires. That Luzzi has come, Mr. Mindset, you are here, you are hosting us here, and we are discussing Uganda. And that is the progress story of Uganda. For me, I always say this, that we must write the story of Uganda without a full stop. Uganda is under construction. And granted, mistakes are part of the story. The only thing is that, are we capturing the story correctly? Because a complainant must address his complaints properly, also to a proper, person. If you're complaining on the road on your way home, it is inconsequential, okay? If your subject matter is loose, still, we have here young men who are driven ideally, but the way they come across abusive, ignorant of details, so you're like, okay, kati wano tutandikirawa. So for me, I celebrate you, Mr. Luzzi, for coming forth with these progressive ideas, which have championed a class of thinkers, from the ordinary thinking, because now we have to think outside the box. And that's good.
Thank you.
So, yes, I thank you very much.
Thank you so much, my brother.
That has been Mr. Kennedy submitting, and we are glad that we are all on the same page. We are moving forward, and please, Mr. Luzzi, don't stop. And the reason why I think, and I've always followed you, is because you're bold enough to say things which most people are afraid to say, and they can see that something is wrong, but they don't want to say. But you have the boldness and the courage to say it. So in a way, you're a leader without a title. We don't need to be in a house called a parliament for you to be recognized. The people are hearing you. I'll tell you right now, there is 10,000 people watching you. They don't want to be in this live for whatever reason. 10,000 people who are listening to this conversation. That says something about these human beings. Is because they know what is wrong, but they're afraid. They don't have the courage to say it. They think you need to be in an office. They think you need to be an elected official. They think there must be some sort of benefit. I am here. I am not being paid to host you or me to have a conversation with you. But I know history is going to resonate. The people might not understand what we are saying now, but they remember what we said.
That's a very
Your name might not be mentioned in these reforms, but everyone knows these reforms have your signature. Luzzi said it.
Thank you so much. Yes, in addition to my brother Kenneth, we really thank you, viewers, and serious Ugandans, especially in our age bracket across the globe, that take on a debate on a serious level with respect. I really like when we debate and we get the best solution that we believe our leaders in the meantime in office, and really take such ideas positively and with immediate effect. My brother, on the contrary, yes, there could be advantages of representation entirely, but the disadvantages are also many. As Mr. Mindset has said, the budget is so big. Two, when people are too many, they have no time to think, plan, and contribute. Instead, they argue and waste time. They are lazy. The creativity has been lost. Then, lastly, the solution to that, which Mr. Museveni has been teaching, is the nationalization of Uganda. We are no more thinking about tribal lines. No. Religion, ethnicities, no. So that representation of saying we need the Benyankoles, we need some Baganda, we need some Bagishu, it doesn't work as long as you're Ugandan. That's why we are using even English. We don't want to use a lot of Luganda. For Luganda speakers to think they are great. No wonder they've been misusing it. We don't want to use it Runyankole, Lugubal, so people to feel they are pretending over others and more important than others. So we need to nationalize Uganda. Even if we have the entire Bagisu in parliament, in ministerial posts, as long as they are Ugandans, their mandate is by the constitution to do what is benefiting Ugandans, not Bagisu. So I hear many people thinking about such tribal lines. That nonsense must stop. So we need 80 MPs. We need to fuse, even if it means to make provinces on things like that, so that people who represent provinces are not drawn on lines of tribes, religion, or ethnicity or something. And this is the new era we are entering into, and we agitate for a new Uganda, so that we cut a lot of disadvantages that is associated with all this kind of nonsense. Then also, my brother, commercialization of politics. To be honest, why do we give gifts? In the whole world, it is only Ugandan president which gives gifts. The Chibasa grants by the president, it is budgeted for. The constitution has to change. The budgeting has to change. I have never seen this anywhere in the world. That one alone, during campaigns, why do we do those expensive campaigns? Can we employ digital transformation? Smart campaign. I welcome you, my brother mindset, when you say there are over 10,000 people watching, and for some reason they fear joining us. Others are too much of NRM, others are too much of Noop, and they feel but what they mean you to be on their life. You are missing alone. For others, for some other reasons. But to be honest, can we engage a media campaign? The world has changed. You reach out to so many people. You even screen record. Even in the event, those ones that have missed have a chance to really revisit your information. It is common knowledge. Lastly, we are saying, have you ever evaluated the campaigns? People who come on a rally. I have never gone to a rally myself. No serious Ugandan goes to a rally. After all, it is accompanied by musicians. So people who come to attend the rallies and you disseminate certain information, program, manifesto, they are only jokers. No serious Ugandan can come on a campaign trail. I cannot. Yet, every Ugandan is on a smartphone. Even if one doesn't have a relative, a friend, a mother or father or a child, at least has. And even if you miss the campaign, what someone said, you can see it even after 2-3 days. Does that need special knowledge from the moon for people to understand? I was a smart campaigner. Smart campaign. It needs to be adopted, and by law, that's it. Then commercialization will also reduce, because as you let voters go down on ground, the so-called fake ground, you have let a can of worms to eat all these people. Parasites. Someone asks you on the sotia, we contribute to churches, mosques, shrines, which don't get completed for some reason all the time. Why do we contribute to a church when we're not church members, mosque, and the rest? During campaigns, it is worse. And why do you gauge a good leader on burials, attendances someone has made? Contributions someone makes on values, that is the person we need, honestly. So among other reforms on that. So, ladies and gentlemen, it is very simple. Every Ugandan must stand up.
Before you finish, there's something you spoke about, and this was on the school terms in Uganda. To be honest with you, I have spoken about this before. Probably you did, and I'm glad we also share the same. We share the same. We share the same thought. Why, in your opinion, do you think we need to have 2 terms as the school terms? And the other question to you, the last question is: do you think the current education system we have aligns with the current job market?
Thank you very much. To be honest, the evaluation of the education system has delayed and requires an amendment and complete overhaul. We are saying, when you look at learners, they spend a lot of time reading, cramming, useless syllabus-oriented questionnaire and subjects. And you find that it is a lot to be completed, thus the 3 terms. We are saying, can we choose our careers based on interest and we specialize in those ones? And can we really say any graduation from kindergarten to primary must be with a particular skill certificate, which you master via the 7 years of P7? Then by the time you finish senior 4, you have finished and mastered the entire skill. Therefore, you are viable, you are available for employment or for at least applying such knowledge via self-employment. So the 3 terms. We are saying even driving should be included among the secondary school syllabus. By the time someone has finished senior 4, let you have another addition, which is a skill that is required. Driving. Let driving be part of the practical lessons at school. By 16 years, everybody should have a driving permit, qualified to drive all forms of cars. You have learnt it via the school. I told you before, it's a turn off for me if I date you and you don't know driving. That's one of the incentives that Tolo Sala will wicked my brain. You should know. I'm telling you, I can't carry. Who is the beneficial factor in this? When I bring such reforms and they were to be put as laws via the education system, who was to benefit? Was it not your child? Not me. So leaders need to understand, and voters, that surely these amendments were pro-people and these reforms. Therefore, it is imperative to have only 2 terms where learners can spend a lot of time doing practicals, and even studying should be from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. The rest are practicals, carpentry, AI, designs, machinery from China, America, US. You understand? So that we have different designs that are in Uganda, made and bought or used in Uganda and then exported. When you look at our education, it doesn't produce products that are exported. We need to do an import substitution. Can Uganda produce similar items, better, latest technology, designs abroad, so that we can have a lot of dollars here?
And last but not least, Mr. Luzzi, this is the last. We've seen e-buses in Kampala. What do you think? Is this a step in the positive direction or a negative to the negative direction? What are your thoughts on the e-buses?
Yes, I have noted that one, but I wanted to go to the current education system, whereby there is a new curriculum which is under trial, and we are saying we are going to keep monitoring it. We should throw our weight to government proposals because they are also being done in good faith. But a lot of adoption of that is a challenge right now. It's not funded properly, and many of the teachers are not yet conversant with the new curriculum. So it's a challenge. We therefore call upon still those leaders in different department levels of education to monitor and implement this curriculum. There is need for training. There is need for funding. The little funding, please stop embezzling and swindling this money. Let Mr. Mohozi come out, or any person, because we have less hope in fighting against corruption and embezzlement of taxpayers. We really have less hope in this government. That's why we call upon Mr. Mohozi to leave the army and also enjoy Ugandans. Ugandans need to enjoy you all year. I'm telling you, he is our last hope and is a close person to his dad. Now, coming to the e-buses. All these trials can be in good motive, but the roads are still narrow. The accidents won't reduce. The potholes are too many. There is need to overhaul the entire transport sector. And also, even if it means to have what we call outsourcing, let us have other development partners across different countries who can come and partner with government, manage the transport system. There is need for standardization of prices. There is need for standardization of the entire control of prices in Uganda for different products. As we've discussed, the buses may be a good idea, but the potholes will again scavenge on the tires, on the entire system. Then also the engineers, the mechanics, you'll find that they will steal the spare parts and the entire system will collapse. Lastly, but not least, Ugandans needed a good dictator. Ugandans need a useful dictator. And we are waiting for such a dictator. And that is you. And that is me. We need a useful dictator. Because all these forms, people cripple the system, compromise the system themselves. And that's the challenge.
Okay, Mr. Luzzi, I'm going to have to let you go until we meet tomorrow. Thank you very much for your time. And we thank you for all the wonderful ideas. I'm sure everyone is watching. For the purpose of a wider audience, we have decided to make this series in English for everyone to benefit. If you cannot understand English, please get an interpreter to interpret for you. We have AI tools that you can actually feed in. They can tell you exactly what the conversation is about. But I must thank you, Mr. Luzzi, for taking up the mantle, for being brave, for being courageous enough to keep on keeping on. Keeping on. And I will tell you again, my brother, just because you are not elected, you are already elected, because people, all these leaders that we have, all the so-called leaders, they have no ideas. That is why a lot of them sit on this live. They actually, they're listening to what you're saying. And when the live is finished, they go to their people and tell them the same ideas. But it is okay. They're still telling Ugandans. But the architect is who? Is Abraham Luzzi. Please don't give up. That is why in the Nakwe Sibako, don't give up. Ugandan, if we have these types of conversations, other than listening to Chimansulu all the time, we shall benefit from people like you. And guess what? Uganda being a very young country, we are the Bazay of the country now.
That's true.
Uganda is a very young country. 75% of the population is under 35, which means me and you were the Bazay and Kennedy. I am telling you. That is why I used to hear people on TikTok.
I'm still young, man.
No, seriously. Uganda is such a, on this live, whenever we do these lives, I normally go back to the analytics, yeah? When you put up a video, go to your video, look at the analytics of the people that are feeding on your content. You're going to find that from the age of 25 to 34, that is where the target audience is. Go to the analytics. TikTok tells you that the age that is feeding on your content, the region that is feeding on your content is between 25 to 34. Anyway, that is for me. And the region is Uganda, which means our message is targeting Uganda. We all want a good Uganda. We all want a functioning Uganda. One thing that I've picked on from what you've said, and I've always said is we can build on from what President Museveni has done. Add on, not to subtract. Let us add on. Let us come on and bring ideas. And because countries are built by ideas, they're not built by bricks, by ideas.
In fact, as I wind up, my brother, I call upon all Ugandans across the political platforms, all political platforms. I call upon the people of NUP. I call upon the other opposition. I call upon the government leaning or NLM leaning. I call upon PLOU. When we are discussing, we should discuss as Ugandans. Can we forgive each other? There's a lot of hatred. There's a lot of anger. Can we forgive each other? Can we unite for a cause and have a useful, peaceful debate? We can agree to disagree. We can disagree to agree. But can we respect each other? Uganda is enough for all of us. So I call upon for unity. We need to seek forgiveness from each other. I am sorry, in the event, in whatever I talk, I may hurt others. I think we need now to maturely bring up people that think can't sit with us. We are going to spice up this platform by possibly a prior communication before. We bring some interviewers from different political parties to challenge and possibly ask and interact with us. So maybe we are going to be even announcing particular days we are supposed to be on, and we call upon people and ask or communicate who is the moderator or person who is going to ask me questions, because that's all about interacting with me, the reformist and the followers. But you should have someone from different political parties, different platforms, something like that, so that we can even announce that every Monday or this we